Hello guys, thank you very much for joining in. Hi, this is Ganesh Nayak. I help finance professionals and students to clear their FRM and CFA exam and to become better in their career, in their preparation and their life. Now, I'm back with one of my student who has been able to clear clear the FRM Level 1 exam. He's been able to clear in the May 2022 exam itself. And we are going to be talking about his journey, his challenges that he has faced, and how he has been able to clear the exam. And for the benefit of the audience, this was his second attempt, okay, for the FRM Level 1. Okay, so we have Ankit with us, Ankit Tiwari, and Ankit, for the benefit of the audience, what has been your background? Can you just give us a brief about that, and then we can start with a quick round of questions.
Thank you, sir, first of all, for giving me this opportunity. And basically for my background, I've done my graduation in SIS college. Basically, I've done my BCom. So in that, I've covered all the basic financial concepts, everything. And now I'm pursuing my MBA in FRM University, Dehradun. So here I'm in my second year of my MBA, and I've selected as a co-finance student of MBA. So in this co-finance, I have various types of subjects, including FRM as well. FRM is the main elective in my course area, and second one is investment banking. So this is my this is my second year and final year. So,
okay, and when did you give your first attempt for FRM Level 1?
Actually, my first attempt was in July in 2020. July 2020, but due to COVID, it got deferred to November 2021.
Yes.
November 2020, sorry. So that is why, and till that time, I got ample amount of time. But the main challenge I was facing was in quant subject, because you know I'm from a commerce background student, so the quant area was a little bit difficult for me. So that was the main area of focus. Secondly, the easiest topic was the foundations of risk management, which is book 1.
Right.
Because there it was entirely theory subject. So all I had to do was to just read, and so it took me around you can say in a day around 4 hours to read the first book and as well the topics of the first.
Okay, one second. So for the benefit of the audience, so what I think Ankit is trying to say is that May 2021 the exam was scheduled, and because of COVID the exam got postponed to November. And that was his first attempt to go for the exam. Now, what are the challenges that you faced? And I mean, in the sense, why do you think you could not clear the November 2021 exam? What are the problems that you have identified?
Yeah, so the main problem was in quant area, as I said before. In that, the probability topic, which was slightly complicated, I would not say difficult, but the basics were not correct yet for me. So that was the main issue. And secondly, the biggest issue was in exam, because what you have given the exam the 4 hours time, it was comparatively easier to complete in in my own house. But rather in exam, the questions were asked such that you have to think twice before answer. So it took a lot of time for me. So basically, time management was my main issue. So
and you were able to complete entire 100 questions in the first attempt of your exam?
No, sadly no, because the time management was the main issue. Why? Because I have left around 20 questions in that first attempt, so it took major amount of time. And the irony was that what the questions which I have prepared were not there in the exam, but which I have left, they were there. The questions they were there in the exam. Yeah. So the time series concept I left for the I said that for the benefit I left the time series concept, but the main issue was that 10 to 12 questions were around of time series topic, and probability topic was there, only 2 questions was there of probability.
So primarily the first reason was that quant as a book, the second book you felt it was slightly tough for you, and some of the concepts were not clear. That second was time management. Like you said, you were not able to complete everything in that 4 hours time. Like you said, 20 questions you could not pick up, or basically you could not read properly and attempt properly. The third primarily is like in the entire curriculum, a lot of students, what they do is they say that 1 or 2 chapter I'm not very confident and I'm not comfortable, so I'll leave that chapter. Primarily those questions also came in the exam for your, okay, I'm just reiterating for the benefit of the
Yes.
audience.
And in
Now,
major amount.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. And now when the result came in for the first attempt, you realize you could not clear. What happened after that? So from there till the May 2022 exam, what all changes did you did in your preparation? How did you manage to solve the issues that you have identified? Okay, and how was your preparation on day-to-day basis for that May 2022 exam?
So for the May 2022 exam, one benefit which I feel I am lucky that I got ample amount of time, because at that time my MBA college was also closed due to the COVID restriction.
Okay.
So the college was entirely closed, and secondly, they started their internship, which every colleges have. That 3 months I have to do internship in some company, and accordingly I got placed in that company, and it was also work from home company. So I got ample amount of time in that. One first major advantage was that I got ample amount of time, and
Perfect.
secondly, I started with book 2 itself. I left all the other books because in my first attempt all the books were cleared except for book 2. So
Okay.
I started from scratch. Basically, I've first seen your whole videos from first to last, and then made notes accordingly. And on that
Okay.
day itself, I started solving your question bank, like chapter-wise question bank.
Okay.
And after chapter-wise question banks, I started BT because my all other
Okay.
questions were completed. So I started BT, and for the benefit of the audience and many other students who are going to watch this video, I would definitely say please do BT, because the exam level and the BT questions were almost similar. Many people say
Okay.
that BT is not at all similar. It is highly difficult than the normal exam, but it is not like that. The questions were asked were similar to BT, and also I've discussed this with you in my previous exam. One question was BT was literally copy pasted in the exam, which was of
Oh, okay.
corporate bonds from book. That question
Okay.
was literally copy pasted. Only the options were slightly different. I knew because I previously solved that from book 3 in BT in my first attempt.
Okay.
So that's why I started BT, and I did first once and then moved to book 4, and then simultaneously book 3 and book 1. So like
Okay.
that I done.
Okay. One point to add over here. See, generally what I also tell students that first try to solve a question bank which is slightly easy, which is like, for example, our question bank, and then go to a very tough question bank, which is BT. Now, the point which I wanted to highlight, see, a lot of students, if they directly go to the bank turtle, they might lose the confidence. And in your case, you had already solved those question bank, and then you had time, and then you went for the BT, right? So that is one thing that all the audience should identify. Okay, first solve the basic question bank, then move towards the higher one. Okay, and one more small point which I want to add over here is that, see, everybody in the exam is getting kind of a different set of questions. Okay, so for example, Ankit got few questions at a particular level or particular chapter. If I go and sit in the exam, I might get a different set. Okay, so nothing is going to be very, very repetitive. Or if suppose I'm getting a particular concept, you might not get that same thing. Okay, now with respect to number of hours, how much time you were giving for the exam?
For the exam, so I had only around like 3 to 4 months. So in that, as I said earlier, I got the ample amount of time, which was the main advantage, which a lot of students and professionals do not get, as they are working professionals as well. So around in a day, I got around 4 to 5 hours. So in that 4 to 5 hours, I managed to study, which is a lot. Even I'm not exaggerating it, because I got that amount of time, because that
Right.
is because of my internship was also work from home. So I got nothing but some of the I can do that multitasking work, but major amount of time I focused on my FRM concepts rather than doing the main amount of work in the internship. But that was
Okay.
also there. I'm not saying that I was entirely ignoring the internship part. But whenever I got the time, whenever I got the free time, I did my FRM concept. So it was divided.
Perfect.
It was not like in a stretch I did 5 hours. So it was like 1 hour, and then doing some work for like 4 to 5 hours, and then again shifting to FRM work for 1 to 2 hours, like that I done
Okay.
on an
Okay.
average. So on an
Okay.
average, I can say I got 4 hours of time.
4 hours on an average. Okay. Now I want to add a point over here. Now, when you were saying this statement, okay, that I got 4 or 5 hours, the normal thought process of a student is that they feel that, okay, because he's a student, he's been able to clear the exam. Okay, but nobody is taking into account that there are a lot of concepts which he might take a lot of time to understand because he has no work experience,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
so that entire thing resulted in him clearing in say second attempt. That could also be the reason. So primarily, it's not that only college students are clearing. Okay, the kind he was also doing internship and taking out time in between and preparing for the exam. Okay, now with respect to the uh, say for example solving of the question bank and all, till when you were able to complete all the question bank? Say for example for May, what time or month you were able to complete everything?
My main focus was only on the quant subject because the question banks which I solved earlier were a bit different from this attempt because you also shuffled your questions in comparatively to last year in Deep Intelligence Act.
Yes, we changed it.
Yeah, you changed it every time. So what I did, for example, if I start with fundamentals of probability, and because the video was around 2 to 3 hours video, so I make the notes simultaneously. And
Okay.
once I finish my video, then I see the point and I read once again the whole chapter, and then
Okay.
at the same time I do my paper, so what you say,
Solving of the
practice
question.
paper, like chapter wise paper.
Okay.
Yeah, solving of
Okay.
the question. So it also gave me that second revision as well. It helped me in my second revision because once I see your video and then I start reading my own points, then it gave me a sort of what you say rereading or re-revision like that. So it helped me a lot in that time. And around in the last month of the exam, I could say that was the hectic part in the last month. So there I could see that in a day I used to solve around like I used to make a target that in this day I would finish at least 10 to 15 chapters of a particular book. So I
That was
started with
revision.
one single book.
That was
Yeah,
revision.
not the revision part, the test part. I mean the paper solving part. In the last test it
Okay.
was very hectic. So in that month I managed my time well like that. So I made a target in 3 to 4 days. I'll finish my book 2 with all the revisions and all the paper, all
Right.
the test papers. And simultaneously I did with book 4, book 3, and book 1. So it took me in the last month it was pretty much hectic, but in the first 2 months it was like in a day I will solve that much only that
So
questions which I've read your video. Yeah.
so
So
my
which I've
my
read your
question
video
is
only those
primarily
questions.
when were you able to complete your chapter wise questions? Which time?
Chapter wise question I was able to complete in the first month.
Okay.
Chapter wise paper. Yeah,
Okay.
because already the concepts were cleared from the before
Okay. And when did you start your mock papers or those kind of questions?
mock papers I started around 15 to 20 days. I started a bit earlier, 20 days before my
20
final.
days before your
So that,
exam date.
yeah, because the mock papers included not only your mock paper, it included one BT mock paper as well, which I got from the site, different site as well. So that BT mock paper was my last attempt to solve. So I kept that. First three I would solve. First four papers I would solve of your intelligence app, and then the fifth paper I solved that BT question.
Right.
So in total,
Right.
I solved around 5 question for the exam.
Okay. Okay. And now when you went for the exam, how was the first hour?
First start, to be very frank, sir, it was pretty much what you say on a medium pace. It was not at all hard, not at all tough, because already I was used to with the concepts, I was used to with the reading, and I was used to how the questions would come. So initially it was like it was in a medium pace, but once I reached to the quants part, it got me a little frightened because the first question was only the Bayesian case, which took a lot of time for me to clear the concepts. And even in the last paper, the questions were starting with the Bayesian theory as well. So I
Okay.
kind of found a pattern. Yeah. So the first question came in the quant area was the Bayesian theory. So
Okay.
that took a lot of time. No, I would not say a lot of time, but a minimum amount of time that question took from.
So
And then
your understanding that in the first exam you were not able to dedicate proper time or time management was an issue. Was there
yeah.
anything that happened in the second exam?
No, sir. In the second exam, it was not at all like that because I was mentally prepared that if the questions which I'm confident enough, I would just tick mark that, and the questions which I'm not confident, I would just leave that question and I'll solve it later if I'm having the time. So I did that. So in the Bayesian theory, I was able to solve it, but I was not sure as to which is the answer correct or not, because I got confused between the two options.
Okay.
So I marked that option and
And in the
solve that in the
exam,
later part.
so options, like everything was easy, everything was difficult. What was the status of the questions?
Most of the time there were options where I would get confused, like if this is correct or this is correct, because the answers were a bit similar. The only
Hmm.
difference was in the wording part. Because I've read that Swager book. So Swager book also, it was kind of similar to Swager book for the level 1 attempt. And the words which they were giving were almost, you know, what do you say, as comparable as Swager book, but the one sentence or one particular word was twisted. So that changes the whole concept of the question. And also
Okay.
they have mixed 4 to 5 concepts in a single question. It was like that. For
Okay.
example, in
Okay.
VAR, in VAR concept, they mix EWMA model with the mean variance framework model. So that was one of the questions which I encountered.
Okay. Okay. So few questions were mixed also during the exam that you saw.
Yes.
But
Yes.
overall, when you
And
completed, yeah, please,
yeah,
please go ahead.
yeah, few questions as in from the book 4, it was not at all mixture. Only the two to three questions were mixture. But this time I noticed book 1 and book 4 ka, what do you say, that MBS, sorry, book 3 ka MBS part. That was mixture, because in financial book 1 we have that
Yeah, the
financial
three
disaster
chapters
that
are
case study.
connected.
Yeah, three chapters are connected, and those three
Yes.
chapters were connected with book 3 MBS part. Like option adjusted spread was one of the questions which were asked in the exam.
Mm.
And this time, bootstrapping method also in the book 2 concept. Bootstrapping method was asked around 4 to 5 questions where there were of bootstrapping method as well, simulation and
Okay.
bootstrap. Theory
Okay.
questions,
That.
basically. Like the
Okay. Okay.
advantages of bootstrapping or disadvantages of bootstrapping, like
And
that.
how many theory? How much was the percentage of the theory question at the overall level?
This overall level, it was like 60%. 60%
40.
theory and
And
40%
the
practical.
calculation of 40, you were able to do it properly?
Yeah, the calculation part were like straightforward, where they asked me, they were giving the expected loss and LGD or PD. I just have to use the formula, and the answer was there. The
Okay.
calculation was very easy compared to last time, because the last time I got 90% theory and 10% practical. But those 10% practical were also like
Tough.
a little bit tough. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
that is,
Wonderful.
so
And
that
and
was the
then
main.
primarily with respect to the theory, the questions were very tough, 60 questions, or how was it?
Uh, 60 questions were on a medium level. I will not say very tough, but it was a slight complicated, slightly conceptual. I could say it
Okay.
was not very tough.
Okay.
Just the sense they twisted one word and that it would change the entire concept. So we have to focus
Hmm.
on those one particular, what you say, trigger word or keyword we could say in the exam, and according to that we could get the answer.
Perfect. And now, once the result came in, what were the quartiles that you got?
So I got I will start with ascending order. So for book 1, I got second, and then 1, 1, and 1. 2, 1,
Okay, so
1, 1.
second quartile in the book 1, all the 3 books,
Yeah,
first quartile.
first
Especially the
quarter.
second book, which created a problem in the last time
Yes,
exam,
yes,
were
yes, sir.
able to sort that out properly.
Yeah. Then the last exam, I got third quartile in book 2, and now got first quartile. So even I
First
was
quartile.
surprised that in book 2, I got first quartile. Yeah.
Okay. Now, obviously, once the result came in, what has been the reaction of people around you, your friends, family, your internship where you have done and all of so? What was been the reaction?
Yeah. So their reaction was like, when did you give this exam? First reaction was like that. So only my family members knew that. So basically, I was not even telling my friends as well. Even they were shocked that when did you give this exam, and what was the when did you get the time to study, so everything. So it was entirely shocking and surprising as well. Even for me, it was very much surprising, because when I first logged in, you only said that result I check. So I logged in, and then I saw first, congratulations, you are passed. So that was like, in that I did not even bother to see the quartiles. I was just very much excited and very much happy to see that I have passed. So after that, yeah, I definitely saw the quartiles. So
Right,
that
right.
was the main.
One point which I wanted to add, so when he, for the benefit of the audience, that when Ankit was not able to clear the exam for the first time, and also because the exam got postponed. So normally what happens is when the exam gets
Yeah,
postponed, whatever you have been prepared, Now you have to wait for more 6 months. Okay, so automatically a lot of things you tend to forget, okay, during that period, and that makes the entire process slightly tough. Okay, and I've seen people, not other people also, who are very well prepared for May 2021 exam. In November 2021, they could not clear. Okay, because the time gap was very huge to again restart and prepare. So those challenges every student face. And when you were not able to clear the exam, I got a call from your mom, and you're very depressed, and that
Yes,
happened, that
yes,
situation
yeah,
happened. And then we had a talk, we met also, and primarily we said that we'll start again. Don't worry, we'll start again and we'll do it
yes, sir.
properly. We started with book two and all, and we
Yes,
can see the result now. We can see that we've been able to clear, and the quartiles are very good. And definitely, your family member, everybody, I'm also proud of the quartiles that you have got. The way you have prepared, the way
mhm.
that you have shown the dedication, definitely this has been there. And the final question now, the few tips that you would like to give to the audience who want to prepare for the FRM level 1 exam.
So if they are preparing for the first time, so I would definitely say that stick to this schedule, which you have also provided in the Excel part, in the
Mm-hmm.
intelligent notes. So first and foremost thing is that you have to be mentally prepared that you have to at least be consistent for 4 to 5 hours in a day. Even though you are a working professional or a student, you have to manage that time. So
Mm-hmm.
4 to 5 hours, anywho, you have to take it out and you have to be mentally prepared that this
Mm-hmm.
exam is not easy. And you have to be consistent and you have to revise every day. Like you have to read books every day. So even I did the same thing. The theory part I did every day. In fact, even though I studied my fonts first,
Mm-hmm.
but the free time which I get, I did one chapter each day of the theory part of the book one, so that I would get the revision again and again. So
Right.
main focus is that be consistent and stick to one schedule. If you're comfortable with your own schedule, if you're making, then that's also fine. But
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely suggest that stick to the intelligence schedule because that is the accurate amount of time which we are going to spend and the chapters which we are going to read. So and another important thing is that cover first 20 chapters in what you say in 20 days or 25 days, basically in 1 month. Because those 20 chapters would take a lot of time again to revise because there are total 60 chapters. And once we read
Mm.
all those chapters, we tend to forget again. So I would definitely say that cover at least 20 chapters first so that it will take off a little bit tension from your head
Mm.
and then again you have to read those 20 chapters again. You cannot just stop it and go to another 40 chapters and start reading those 40 chapters and reading those
Right.
20 chapters. So you have to read it again and make a habit of reading at least one chapter in a day of a theory, of any theory. Like in book four also we have so theory concepts. First 3 or 4 chapters we are having theory concepts, and
Right.
in book three as well. So I would definitely suggest that read at least one chapter in a day, every day, for the next 3 months or 4 months, whenever you're going to plan, and then revise it. Don't stop
Okay.
reading till the end of the exam. Even day before exam, I started reading the whole, what you say, the important chapters as well of the theory part, because I knew
Mm-hmm.
the exam was going to be a little bit more theoretical rather than practical. So that is the main focus. And also
Okay.
don't leave the important topics which I left in my first
In the first attempt.
paper.
Okay. Few chapters
Yeah,
which you
I
miss,
left the time.
and
Yeah,
also the
time
time
series
management.
chapters and yeah, time management. Yeah, obviously time management. Yes, definitely.
Okay.
And
Okay.
also this time I saw that simulation and bootstrapping questions were there. So I would highly suggest that please do that simulation and bootstrapping as well. Because many people leave it. Even I left that in the first attempt. In the second attempt also, I'd read it. I have not say I've left it, but I've read the main important topics like the advantages of bootstrapping and all. So and those questions only came in that exam. So I was kind of lucky that
Okay.
I've read that part. So
Okay.
don't leave any chapters. You read all 60 chapters. In fact, in book one, we have that principles of something principles chapter as well. That is
Principles of data
purely
aggregation.
theoretical. Yeah, data aggregation. So read that part as well because many people leave that question, that one particular chapter, and they say that it's like that.
Right.
But the questions are also there. Even 1 or 2 questions were there. So 1 or 2 questions carries 1 or 2 more. So we don't have to leave anything. And in
Perfect.
exam, please make sure that if the questions you're confident, you have to attempt only those questions. And the questions which you're doubting that this is the answer, or you have doubt that which option is correct, leave it that for later. First attempt all the questions which you know.
flag the question and
So
then you can look at that
flag the
question later.
questions and then later.
Okay, okay, perfect, perfect. So seems good, wonderful, Ankit. It was a great interview, and definitely all the students who are going to be watching this interview will get benefit from your experience of how you prepared, what are the changes that you've made, like especially time management and ignoring certain chapters, which are a huge learning for you also, and you worked on that and you were able to clear the exam now in May 2022. Okay, I'm also sure that you're going to be clearing the next level two also in the first attempt, and you will be able to
Yes,
complete everything and become an FRM charter holder as soon as possible. So thank you very much for
I hope.
joining in.
Yes, sir. Thank you.